Change19, we are back once again. I say we, me and Will.
Hiya, Jack.
Hello, we are outside once again in the glorious sunshine. Let's hope the sun doesn't come out too much because I've forgotten my sunglasses. So, we thought we'd talk about this week, around the word change, how we have changed over the years, Will. Coming up to our 9th year.
I know, it's hard to believe.
We've been around for a long, long time, and we thought we'd talk about our experiences of how we started, what we did back then, what we now do, and how that has changed everything about House of Bread. House of Bread is very much the same, but very different as well on the outside. So I'm talking a load of nonsense here. Well, why don't we actually talk about something? So what did we used to do? What happened on that first night?
So the first time I ever got involved was about 9 years ago. We were working out of a tiny little room just opposite St Mary's Church in Stafford. Some of you will know it. It's now, I think, the church sort of office. And pretty much people turned up. We fed people. Well, we fed it for a tiny kitchen the size of most people's cupboards. So back in the day, we were just thinking of some of the people that were involved there. And yeah, we were sort of feeding people, learning as we went along, I think, because I don't think really anybody had any idea of what it meant to support homeless people other than, well, there must be homeless people there.
Yeah.
I think the first thing I noticed is that we were supporting people who are vulnerable as well as homeless. And that's sort of a consistent message that we've been really communicating much more broadly, and that's the biggest shift in change. So we're always dealing with those who are homeless by choice, homeless by crisis, but I think the change for me, the most significant change over the 9 years, has really been the need and the broader term of need around vulnerability. So all the things that we're going to talk about in terms of additional support, the casework, the children's activity, and all the other things that happen within the week are all really more of a response to a growing need, because we always say, if nobody turned up for a couple of weeks, we would go away.
Yeah.
We're not here to generate the problem, we're here to address a social need.
And that's a good point you raised there, because like Will said, when we first opened, it was a couple of people who were sleeping rough, told them about it, and word of mouth got out, and we've grown and grown. As somebody said years ago, it's pretty good that we didn't publicise it and say come on down for a meal, because we would have been swamped. So now, talking about that change particularly, what do you mean by the need increasing?
I think what we're seeing is there's a really interesting analysis that's taken us perhaps this length of time to look back on, to realise that 2010 was the start of really the serious austerity playing into the whole situation. Massive challenges around funding in the borough council, the county councils across the United Kingdom. Because we were right in the middle of it, we perhaps didn't see ourselves as part of a larger picture. But I think as we began to look backward over the last sort of 4 or 5 years, we've realised that actually we were just a part of a national trend. So there's a lot of things playing into it, and we relentlessly say we are not blaming a government, we're just dealing with what presents. There are other people who would evaluate that sort of view, but I suppose what we did is we recognised the needs were changing, so we've moved from point of crisis, which we still do, to a much more holistic approach. So it's about the whole person, it's about mental health.
That point of crisis, when it was first set up, it was set up to feed people just for that couple of hours on a Wednesday evening. Now we are, food is still at the very core of what House of Bread does, but we are helping those people beyond that. We're giving them some food so they can feel great for that moment, and with the food bags a little bit extended, but looking at those real problems about why somebody is in that situation and how we can help them.
I think the other big thing is the partnership working we're doing at the moment.
Yes, that's a big change.
Tremendously well and closely with the police, the probation service, family intervention. There would be a stream, and I'd miss them if I was to list it. But I think the partnerships where people recognise that we are the grouting between the service user, or what we call a friend, and the service is the critical thing. People will come to us because they can't bear to go anywhere else. There's a lot of lanyards or laptops, and I'm wearing this specifically, but on a normal day these are discreet, they're hidden. So it's that accessibility that gives us the real sense of getting to the hardest to reach and getting them to the people who are actually doing amazing stuff and are not getting that access point.
As I was listening to you, I was thinking maybe the word change is a bit of a misnomer. We haven't changed the way we work because we still do exactly the same thing. We have just developed and grown. And really what we've done since 2010 is opened a door and allow people to come in eat the food and talk about what is going on, what the problems in their lives, and we're still doing that today. But people are coming in with far wider range of issues than can I have a sleeping bag, can I have a tent.
It's much more complex.
It's I can't put electricity on, or people have got jobs and they're needing our help and all that kind of thing now. The reason we wanted to talk about this is after dear Lisa left us a couple of weeks ago, she wrote something in our mailer. If you want to subscribe to that, do get in touch. And she's been there for a good fair while.
6.5 years,
and just reading what she'd written and the differences that she'd come across and how we've developed really hit home to me. You're in something for so long and it feels like you're doing the same thing, but actually you look back, most of the difference was how young we look and less tired. But there you go. So
I would just conclude there, Jeff, by just simply saying is we joke about it, but the one constant is change. We adapt to the need, and we will continue to change and develop. As the need grows, as the need changes, we will adapt, and that's an amazing blessing that we have.
But we won't leave anyone behind. Like
Absolutely.
you said,
all are welcome.
First up, it was very aimed at homeless people. Now it's just anybody that's vulnerable. We won't leave anybody behind.
No.
Right,
Fantastic.
thank you very much, Will.
That's all right.
Just as the
I'll
sun
get the
comes out,
sunglasses.
just bask in the sunshine. Don't forget to check out Hob News on Sundays. We apologise last week where we were in Scotland doing a bit of a Kaylee.
Well, some of us were.
Yeah,
I was behind the bar.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share these videos. As ever, these aren't just for people who come to House of Bread or know about us, it's for everybody. We shall stop talking and leave you alone on this Wednesday evening. Thank you very much for watching once again. Goodbye.
Good night.